Trump at 79 and obese is the healthiest president that the country has ever seen. And to prove it, they didn't trot out the current White House doctor. They didn't release test results. They didn't give us the full medical record. They didn't allow media to interview Trump's current doctors. They called in Ronny Jackson. Ronny Jackson is the MAGA congressman who can't legally practice medicine outside of an emergency, who lost his medical license, was stripped of his Navy rank, and once was nicknamed the Candy Man for handing out medications like candy on Air Force One. He's the guy who said if Trump just modified his diet, he could live to 200 years old. And he was trotted out to say Trump is mentally sharper than ever before, and Trump is physically sharper than ever before. Now, this is where they get into trouble. You can say for a 79-year-old, Trump is healthy. And then we would debate that and we would say, well, give us some information. But they go so hyperbolic that it becomes unbelievable. He's the healthiest president mentally and physically than anybody, even compared to Obama in his 40s, Clinton in his 40s. Give me a break. That doesn't make any sense. Now, meanwhile, the administration has admitted Trump has chronic venous insufficiency. That's why his ankles are ballooned. He has bruises on his hands because of handshaking. Although, if you believe that, that would explain the bruises on the right hand, but not the left hand. Doesn't make much sense. Trump's gait is increasingly wobbly. Where he was meeting Putin, he was sort of going side to side, unable to walk in a straight line. And meanwhile, they want us to believe that Trump is 6'2" or 6'3" and now has a weight in the 220s, which, do it yourself. Get pictures of Trump, go to the chat bots, go to ChatGPT, go to Claude, go to Gemini, and say, is it plausible based on these images that this individual is 6'2" or 6'3" and weighs 224? See what the chat bots tell you, and you will quickly see that that's very improbable. So if the president is dragging out his disgraced former doctor to argue that he's in perfect health, to me, it confirms that there's a problem here. You do not handle a healthy president by bringing out a guy who is not his doctor anymore and couldn't possibly be more politically compromised, as is Ronny Jackson, and say, look, Ronny Jackson says everything is good. It's gotten to the point where J.D. Vance's team, whether they will admit it publicly or not, is reportedly preparing for what they see as the imminent death of Donald Trump. We're going to talk about that after the break, so I don't want to get into that right now. It sounds hyperbolic and outrageous, but it's less outrageous than the White House claiming this is the healthiest president ever, and that the cankles and the purple hands are simply nothing, and Trump weighs 224, and no one's been healthier, and also Trump's wobbly gait is nothing to pay attention to. Thankfully, Trump has taught us how do we interpret such a statement. When a former doctor, who's a Republican congressman, says this is the sharpest Trump's ever been physically and mentally, we now know what that means. It means something is wrong, and we're not going to tell you the truth. The parade of political loyalists offering medical reassurance instead of the doctors, the more that they tell you this guy's the healthiest ever, the more we should be wondering what the hell is going on here. The one good thing, and there's not a lot of good here, but there's a little something good, is that this is getting a little more attention on legacy and corporate media. On Wednesday, we talked about Gavin Newsom going after Trump publicly for his hands and going after Trump publicly for his cognition. That is a big deal that a sitting governor is now doing that and doing it publicly. That makes it easier for legacy and corporate media to talk about it. So where will we be in 3 months, in 6 months? I don't know. But just in the last 6 weeks, the very obvious deterioration of Donald Trump is unavoidably clear. Where do you believe we will be in 6 months? And is there anyone that could come out that we would say, okay, listen, examine Trump and just tell us the truth, that Trump would actually allow to do it? I think the answer is no. If a panel of doctors said, we are going to do a group physical of Trump, we're going to release everything, we're going to get all the blood work, we're going to do all of it, I don't think there's any way the White House allows them within 100 miles of Donald Trump.